what?
No, not the moon. Like I'm having a good time looking at the moon now. But now, what I'm trying to say is,
Excuse me.
like the human mind works in many ways, okay? And there's such things as cognitive dissonance. I can't even say that fucking word, okay, right now.
Yeah.
And there's certain theories about how the mind works. Okay? Now, imagine, right? Your mind, right, has a boundary condition. Each mind has that. My mind has it, your mind has it. All minds have this boundary condition of information that's created. And the more that our minds are exposed to certain bits of information, the electrical signal in our minds gets stronger, and it creates a boundary condition. And any thought outside of this boundary condition creates a discomfort, okay? You're going to say, well, you know, and also the ego plays a large part, you know, in the boundary condition. So not only, you know, we have this boundary condition of information, you know, that's created for our prison. We also have the ego and our, you know, and the human, you know, emotions that we have to deal with in order to, you know, decipher this condition. So now, let me give you an example. And say if you were told every day of your life, right? You know, every day you hear, okay? You know, that, we'll say, like, we'll make it something simple, okay? Like nails are green. You know, that nail is green. All nails are green. That nail is green. And if you heard that every day of your life, right, it creates a signal, you know, in your mind of information, you know, and it strengthens the signal. That nail is green, that nail is green. So when you look at a nail, it's going to look green to you. Okay? And if someone else tells you, no, that nail is blue, you're going to say, no, that nail is green. Okay? My boundary condition tells me that that nail is green. Alright? And so, what I'm trying to say is that, like, all of us, you know, we're all human. We all can be information, like the information in our heads. We don't know where this came from, okay? It's from everyday, you know, the everyday reality. You watch the TV, you watch the news, right? Information flashes, images flash, and it's in your subconscious, okay? The news, first of all, I want to say, never, ever watch the news, okay? Like, I do not recommend watching the news. Avoid it at all costs. Because the news, you know, is a control mechanism. So is the internet, okay? The internet is also a control mechanism. Where it's just, and, you know, and like I would say about 98% of it's, you know, bullshit, okay? You find some nuggets here and there. You'll find a nugget here and there. But it's up to the puzzle. You have to put this puzzle together, and it's up to you. And like what you were telling me, remember you were telling me the information's out there, but you have to put the puzzle together.
Yeah.
You know. And like I think it quite possibly could be out there in bits and pieces, and there's a puzzle that you have to put together. Okay. To try to figure out, you know, this matrix situation that we're living in. And, you know, that is an awesome fucking video that we're taking to the moon right now.
Wait till you look back at it. Man, we had a light in the clouds show there a minute ago.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt you talking now. I should have, so you should have seen it. It was amazing, man.
Yeah,
The clouds, the way they're swirling around there in the halo of the moon.
I saw that
thing.
halo. I saw the moon halo, and I was wondering about that. I was thinking about the moon halo, and to me, it kind of seems like the moon is its own light source. Like, I think it's self-illuminating, and I think everything up there quite possibly could just be a light show, like a planetarium kind of deal.
Those are cool. I've
You
never
know?
one of those in a long time.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe not. But like, when you sit there and think about, like, if you were evil control of the world, what would you want to do? You would want to hide the true information. You would want to provide a matrix situation for people to live in. Okay? You would want to provide boundary conditions, where the mind, if you think outside of these conditions, you're viewed, as some kind of fucking crazy person. Okay, if you look outside of these boundary conditions that are created for the, for most people. Okay, and most people do not want to look outside of these conditions. Because, the ego plays a large role in it. They're like, well, they feel comfortable, their mind feels comfortable if they have a knowing. But what you have to do is you have to put your mind in the state of the unknowing. Okay? You have to put your mind in the state of unknowing. And you can never say, well, this information I know. Okay? Because information and situations can change. And once you say that I know this, you're closing your mind. Okay?
Not the reality.
You have to keep, and like,
watch what's coming up. Sorry.
All right. Well,
while you're talking, take a look at this.
I'm just saying that, like, just like the Inca, the Inca wall, the so-called Inca wall. Okay, who knows who really created, the wall, and I made a video about this. Okay. And like the earlier, I want to say it's an earlier civilization. They molded the walls. They were in tune with nature. If you look at a snake, especially the snake, if you look at snake skins, you can see Inca walls and so-called Inca walls. They claim, I don't think the Incas are the original creators of this, but you can see the snake skin pattern. Or like even if you look at leaves, microscopically, leaves, bee wings, same pattern. Okay, then you look at other so-called Inca masterpieces, and they use rectangular blocks. Okay, I think, they used the same building process, but it was a generation of architects that thought, in a slightly different manner. Okay? Alright? They still, use, I think these walls are have a certain frequency and a density and are in tune with nature. And they could be extracting an energy that we have no idea what kind of energy these walls, because of the way they're built. We just think of, like, in terms of, like our reality, the science, that, we're presented with. Even the science that's like in science fiction movies, that's an idea, that's presented into our subconscious, so that it provides limits. And, like, I'm just saying, you have to think outside of these limits sometimes. And maybe, maybe like, when you're constantly thinking outside of the limits and not coming to a rock solid conclusion, you'll be on a constant learning process. Okay? Wisdom. This is where wisdom comes, into the picture.